Hello there, welcome back to another video. Now during the winter time, people take out a lot of their big guns in terms of fragrances, and people typically look at fragrances that are tobacco based, oud based, gourmand based, a lot of those things. And one of the notes that really stands out during winter time and actually makes you really feel wonderfully good is also the boozy fragrances, especially fragrances that have got a liquor note in it, right? So today we are going to talk about 10 Middle Eastern fragrances that actually are in budget, and you can actually consider getting either one of them or a couple of them depending on what kind of a boozy fragrance that you'd like to have in your collection. And I will talk to you about what their scent profile is and which boozy note does it actually contain, and what occasions is it suitable for, right? All of those things in this particular video. And if you kind of like the type of content that I bring, then definitely hit the like button, share some love, and subscribe as well, right? Let's get into this review of looking at 10 Middle Eastern boozy fragrances for you for the winters of 2025 right after this intro. Welcome back, and my name is Rodney. You're watching the Perfume Experience, by the way, and today's topic is about the boozy fragrances. Now, before we go ahead, I just want to let you know that in reality, there is no booze actually mixed with these fragrances. So, they don't actually mix rum or anything as such, but a lot of chemicals are used to recreate these scents of whiskey, cognac, liquor, plum liquor, and all of that, and that's what is used. So it is by any means not haram to wear these fragrances. If you typically wear fragrances, spray fragrances as such, then you can continue to wear this. Okay, so just wanted to let you know, because I do get questions sometimes if boozy fragrances do really contain booze and if it's against maybe your religion to wear this, right? Having said that, let's get into this review video and let's look at 10 fragrances today which are Middle Eastern. And the first one on this list is this one. Okay, now this is the X Zandal from the house of French Avenue. Now, if you do follow Aromatics, which is Noob, he actually has worked with French Avenue to create a few fragrances, and there are, I think, 4 previously, and there are 4 more that have been launched, and I tell you, these are exceptionally good. And I don't see a lot of Indian YouTubers covering these fragrances per se, but I do have this one, and I also have the other fragrance as well, which is the Royal Tobacco. Okay, so both of these are available with me, and I've added these onto decants as well, so in case you want to try them, right? But this one really blew me away. I was actually looking forward to this Royal Tobacco being the one that I was really looking forward. I thought this might be on the lines of the Amouage Royal Tobacco, but not the case. They do have another fragrance for it called the Opus Magnum, which we can consider if you want me to review that. But this one, the X Zandal, actually blew me away quite beautifully, because this is really phenomenal, and a fantastic a presentation. Just have a look at that. Really good presentation, and the bottle kind of looks like this. Okay, and top job done in terms of presentation by Aromatics and French Avenue on this one. Right, now what does this smell? So this probably in recent times is the most booziest fragrance that I've come across, because this is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, now this has got lots of vanilla. The top notes has got lots of vanilla, the heart notes has got vanilla, the base note also has got a lot of vanilla, different types of vanilla, the Madagascar vanilla, there is vanilla caviar, lots of stuff happening, but there is also a boozy element. Now the boozy element here is rum, and because of which this has got a very fruity kind of an opening, so it has a little bit of a medicinal touch. So with the boozy fragrances, one thing to note is that either they are very long lasting or very loud sometimes, or they are totally opposite. They don't they are becoming very bubbled, or they have a small bubble around you. That's the case, and I think this is opens up with a lot of loudness. This definitely opens with a lot of loudness. You get a very nice boozy aroma as such, and it has that beautiful vibe of how you open up a liquor bottle and you smell, and you did that first note hits you. That is the kind of boozy element that you get from this. So this is why I called this was a really nice, beautifully done fragrance with a lot of rum and a lot of vanilla. Now, if you're looking for a fragrance that can give you a lot of vanilla dry down with a little bit of a chocolate truffle and a little bit of chocolate itself and a little bit of gourmand kind of a vibe, then this is beautifully done. Very soothing, very calm, lovely scent, projects really decently well, and lasts for about 5-6 hours time easy. I would not say this is the most loudest fragrance out there, but in the opening, yes, it definitely is louder, but after that it kind of softens up, pretty moderate in terms of the projection and lasting, but a beautiful scent nonetheless, very high quality. And I think Aromatics collab with French Avenue is done a really good job in this one. This is Ex Sandal. You should give this really a try if you like a lovely medicinal vanilla with a lot of boozy element and a little bit of a chocolatey element down the line. This is fantastic. This is Ex Sandal from French Avenue. Number 2 on this list is a fragrance that's pretty interesting, and I think French Avenue has done a fantastic work on this entire series. This is the Royal Blend series, and this one is called the Royal Blend. Okay, now here at this point of time, this you can consider 2 fragrances per se. So this is an alternate of the popular Kilian's Angel Share, and this is one of the most smoothest fragrances out there that you can definitely try. It really is done well. So if you do already have the Sharaf blend, okay, then I think you can skip. But if you're looking to replace that fragrance or get a boozy alternative of the Kilian's Angel Share, then this is really nice. So the way in which the cognac, the cinnamon elements and the woody elements and the vanilla kind of comes together in this fragrance with a little bit of that plum is absolutely beautiful. This is super smooth and smells absolutely gorgeous. It has this lovely nuance of a bubblegummy yummy sweetness and smells really great. And like the Camra's Angel Share, like the Kilian's Angel Share, this has got this beautiful body of that cognac coming together with those plums and to give you that fruity, sweet, unisex, party kind of fragrance, and smells really good in the air as well. Overall lasts pretty well, does at least about 5-6 hours easy. Projects very well. In fact, this is one of those fragrances that does project pretty well, smells great. And if you like boozy fragrances, you do want to get compliments, then the Royal Blend from the French Avenue series is fantastic. In fact, there are 4 fragrances in this lineup, or 5. So there is the Old Fashioned, there is the Vintage, there is the Nero, and there is the Sequoia that is recently launched as well. But I have 2 of these fragrances. In fact, I have 4 of these in my decants list, but 2 of them that I really absolutely enjoy are these. This is the Royal Blend, which is really good. You can definitely consider this as a very good alternative of the Kilian's Angel Share. Now this also has a very beautiful powdery dry down because of the iris that's there in this and a little bit of the sandalwood that's there. So it does give you that woody powdery kind of a dry down at the very end, but the opening is absolutely gorgeous, very boozy fragrance to look at. This is the Royal Blend from the French Avenue's Royal Blend series. So the first one, definitely consider this if you're looking for a very good boozy scent, so say. Number 3 on this particular list are 2 fragrances. One, the most popular and probably the one that I'm getting back in from the last year's video. This is the Lattafa's Camra, the most popular of all, and this one still is probably one of the most sold winter fragrances, so to say. A lot of people absolutely love this fragrance. Now this actually does not talk about a lot of booze at all, but then the opening is absolutely very boozy because it does have this lovely bubblegummy sweet sweetness. And if you like an overly sweet fragrance, then definitely Camra is one to go. But if you don't like boozy, if you don't like overly sweet fragrances, then you can avoid this. This has got a lot of candied dry fruits with a lot of other elements, right? So similar elements of vanilla and all of those things. But the candied dry fruits here is what really takes this fragrance to a really top notch and makes it absolutely gorgeous, gets you a lot of compliments. And the best part about the Camra is that it actually is a super performer. People actually get 7-8 hours time on in the evenings, and you really enjoy the scent. Gets you a lot of compliments as well. So most people would definitely have in their arsenal. So it doesn't have actual booze, but because of the candied dry fruit, it really makes up for that wonderful fragrance. Now, if you do not want to get this, or if you have already got it and if you're looking to replace it, like I said earlier, then you can look at this one. This is the underrated fragrance from the house of French Avenue in the Royal Blend series, because this is the Royal Blend Nero. Now this is exactly like the Camra in terms of how it kind of smells, but I feel this is a little bit more lighter in terms of the sweetness and a little bit more well-rounded, a lot more smoother overall, and smells absolutely gorgeous in the air. Now both of these fragrances, the Camra and the Nero, are dupes of the Sawa of Giza, okay, and that's what these fragrances are going for. They are not actually Angel Share dupes like how a lot of people believe, so they are not, but yes, they do have a similar similar type of a DNA what you get in the angel share, but these are much more subtle. They are not as boozy, but they do have that boozy vibe still, but with the because of the candied dry fruits. So you get a lot more fruitier, lot more woody, lot more bubblegummy type of a vibe, and both are absolutely rocking fragrances that you can definitely consider if you're looking at boozy fragrances. So at number 3, Royal Blend Nero. Okay, definitely good projection again, good lasting, good performance, a little bit more smoother than the Camera, but the OG Camera is absolutely fantastic. You can in fact consider the other two fragrances as well, Kawa and the Dukan as well. I personally like Dukan a lot, but if you're looking at a boozy element, then Camera is the way to go. At number 4, probably the most favorite fragrance from the house of Latafa for me for this year, and absolutely phenomenal fragrance. This is the Teriyaki Intense, and this is a must-have if you like boozy fragrances, because this one is absolutely superb. This is probably the best creation that Latafa has in terms of a lot of new releases. This one this year is really good. This one has got saffron, but it also has a lot of plum liqueur, which makes this one of the nicest scent. It has a very boozy, it has a very bubblegummy type of an opening, and absolutely gorgeous scent profile. Leaves a wonderful trail if you like boozy fragrances. In fact, I would say the sweetness is a lot lesser, but the boozy element in which the plum liqueur is made and the way it kind of comes across, blended with that beautiful saffron and a lot of the woody nuances, a lot of the woodier, heavier molecules such as the vanilla, all of that makes it absolutely gorgeous. Now, the best part about this scent is this is a compliment magnet. So if you are going for weddings, you're going for parties, and you do about 8-10 sprays of this, this is going to keep you buzzing. Probably you should go with a sign that says don't drink and drive, similar to that. Don't put on heavy fragrance and drive, because it can kind of make you smell very boozy, right? At the same time, this will work really well because it performs really well. It does about 6 hours easy, lovely in the evenings, lovely trail, lovely sillage, overall fantastic fragrance. By the way, this is created by Quentin Bish, and this one is very masculine. Okay, a lot of men can pull it off, even women can pull it off. And the previous Teriyaki that was actually there, that's a lot more woman centric. So from that point of view as well, if you're looking at a very great versatile fragrance that has a little bit of that fruity nuance, okay, and a little less sweeter but overall smells great, is this Teriyaki Intense. At number 5 is this beauty, and this fragrance, if you've been following my channel, know that this has made a lot of lists this year. In fact, I think this has been one of the fantastic fragrance releases of all of the fragrance releases that have happened this year. This is absolutely superb. This is the Arabian Tobacco, and this one has a lot of caramel in it. It has a lot of coffee, like a literally, Copico chocolate type of a vibe, but has a good amount of boozy element to it. It has a lot of tobacco. It doesn't talk about booze in it, but the way in which the caramel comes across in this fragrance with a little bit of that subdued, rosy element in the background, and overall it has this amazing character that makes you think that you're wearing a boozy fragrance without actually talking about a lot of boozy notes to it. But overall, this one is a loud scent, and this is absolutely phenomenally loud, like in the sense to say this will do 8-10 hours plus the next day on your apparels as well. It's really long lasting scent and works really good. The only sad part right now is that this is not so easily available in India, and I've been trying to get a lot of these fragrances, but it's difficult to get by. But I will try and see if I can bring it back again into decants as well, because this is absolutely gorgeous. Super loud projection, very beautiful scent profile, unique scent profile, something that makes you smell very differently, and has a very slightly sweeter, boozier coffee, rose coming together, caramel coming together, kind of gives you a very gourmand kind of a vibe as well. Absolutely phenomenal. This is the Arabian Tobacco from the house of Ibrahim Al Qureshi that you must definitely try out. Number 6 on this particular list is a fragrance from the house of Paris Corner called as Mauj Appletini. Okay, now there are two fragrances in this list: the Moscow Mule, which is based on the vodka, and there is the Appletini, and the Appletini's take on the Killian's apple brandy on the rocks. Okay, and that's a fantastic fragrance because it has that definitely fruitier vibe of the apples, a little bit of the pineapple and a lot of the tropical fruits coming together, but at the same time it also brings together a lot of rum and a lot of cognac as well to give you a very boozy element of the fruit. And you do know that a lot of fruit elements or a lot of liquor is always made out of fruit, so fermented fruit. So that's the idea behind the apples coming together together with a lot of the liquor elements to give you a very boozy apple based dominant fragrance which absolutely smells great. Now, one of the things that you must know that the By Kilian brand is a brand that has a lineage or connections to the liquor brand Hennessy. Okay, and that's why a lot of the Kilian fragrances have any or some kind of liquor element in it. So Hennessy being a big brand of liquor, I think it's a family owned brand, so they are somehow interrelated is what I believe. So that's the reason why you will see a lot of liquor in most of those Kilian fragrances. So Kilian's or rather Paris Corner's Apple Tini is one definitely beautiful fresh kind of a fragrance which has got a little bit of a boozier element. Now, doesn't mean that you can actually wear it in the daytime, because liquor based fragrances smell good when there is a colder temperature or when you're sitting around by a fire and you're indoors, it's a holiday season, that kind of a vibe, or in a more of a party setting or in a smaller gathering. So don't wear Moj Apple Tini for outdoors, but indoors in the evenings or when the temperature is down or in the indoor setup, you will absolutely enjoy it. Really great fragrance, so definitely give that a try. Now, I have reviewed both of these fragrances in the past. I will share that link with, or you can check my channel for a detailed review of it. It will give you about 4 to 5 hours of performance, a little softer in terms of projection. You can definitely consider the Paris Corner Apple Tini. Now, in case you don't get this, you can consider Centerelic's version of Apple Brandy on the Rocks as well. I do have that one as well, and that is one of the nicest boozy fragrances that I've encountered from Centerelic a long time back. So you can give that one a try as well. So fantastic boozy fragrances, and I'll also tell you about getting boozy fragrances for as low as 400 rupees as well. So stick around till the very end for that note as well. So yeah, so one of the, if you like apples and especially green apples and a lot of pineapple coming together to give you a very tropical fragrance with a little bit of a boozy element, then yes, Moj Apple Tini also is a fantastic fragrance. At number 7 is a fragrance which we're going to talk about. Is from the house of Albait, and that's the Gentleman Givenchy Reserve Privé Alternate. Now, this is the original, and this has basically got a lot of boozy elements to it. It has a lot of iris to it. It has the most important element being the the whiskey. Now, unlike the other fragrances which we spoke about, which are sweet, which could be superb loud, here, because of the way in which the iris comes together and the boozy notes come together, especially the whiskey, this one is a phenomenal fragrance, absolutely loved by a lot of people for date nights, evenings and gatherings, all of that. This is absolutely beautiful. This isn't as loud as some of the other scents that we spoke about, but when you think about a good alternative, there are two good alternatives. One is the Zimaya's Inicus Luna, which is very, very nice, which is, I think, a very fantastic fragrance as to how this is done, but that one is a little less boozy as such, right? Now, if you want the boozier element in the Gentleman Givenchy alternates, and then the Albait one is absolutely phenomenal. We do have it in decants as well, so you can give that a try as well and see how that fragrance smells like. So yes, very nice, very soft, and I would highly recommend this as a very good date night scent, because this is one of those scents that really goes well for date nights because of this lovely projection, soft projection, beautiful bubble, and when somebody comes close to you, you will absolutely love the dry down on this one because it smells absolutely gorgeous. Decent performance, you will get about 5 to 6 hours of performance, projection for about 2 to 3 feet as such. I would say about 2 feet to be on the safer side. Good fragrance, very boozy, very beautiful, and a very different take compared to the other fragrances. So definitely consider a good alternate of the Gentleman Givenchy Reserve Privé alternate from the house of Albait. Alright, at 8 is this fragrance from the house of Latafa. This is the Just Oud Boulevard, and not a lot of people talk about it. I don't know why. This is a fragrance that's a little difficult to come by, and if you do come across this one, this is a phenomenal fragrance. This one is a keeper. Now, this is absolutely gorgeous. This is strong, masculine, okay, and has a lot of tobacco in it, and a lot of tobacco fragrances actually are blended very well with a lot of liquor element as well. So this one has got a gorgeous, dense scent, sweet tobacco, very loud tobacco, and mixed with a lot of boozier element. And I think it's the whiskey on this one that makes a lot of depth. Now, for the ones who don't know, this is a take on the popular Tom Ford's tobacco wood. And the tobacco wood has got a lot of wood elements. It has spices, it has incenses, vetiver, patchouli, a lot of those things. But on the whole, I think the way in which this DNA comes across as sweet, spicy, masculine, loud, this is absolutely gorgeous. Okay. Now, somehow this is available in India at this point of time. So if you are able to get your hands around it, you should definitely try this. Especially if you like Tom Ford's series of fragrances, then the tobacco oud is definitely one of the nicest fragrances to wear if you like tobacco and a boozy element with a little bit of a spicier nuance to it. Now, this one actually projects really well. You will get about 45 minutes to 1 hour of projection, plus, almost in the vicinity of 3 feet plus, and lasting also surprisingly good, 5-6 hours of easy lasting. So very beautiful, classy scent, very underrated, not much spoken about scent from the house of Latafa. This is the Just Oud Boulevard, a take on the beautiful Tom Ford's tobacco wood, and this is also available on my inspired series of fragrances, and they start at about 400 rupees for about 10 ml, so you can definitely try those as well, and I will talk to you about them in a while. The next fragrance is a beautiful take on the Mancera's Amour Cafe, okay, and this one is done fantastically well by the Kadlach Cafe Latte. Now, this is absolutely gorgeous because this is almost like a gourmand kind of a fragrance, but with a little bit of that amaretto. Now, amaretto is a type of a liquor that's, I think, mainly available in the Africa's region. So it's a very beautiful, element of liquor. Now, liquor and liquors are slightly different. So liquor is a little more dense, a little more easier to consume because you don't need a lot of, it's consumed basically as a after dinner drink. So it's a little bit more subtle as such. It's almost treated like a, dessert in many places. So this one is also like that. So this one has got a lot of nuttier elements, a lot of almonds. It has a lot of ice cream, vanilla. So that kind of element with a lot of this amaretto liquor, and with a good amount of vanilla, it kind of gives you that gourmand vibe, which is absolutely phenomenal. Now, surprisingly, this smells really gorgeous in the air as well. A little softer in terms of the projection because, like I said earlier, some of the liquor fragrances do not actually project super loud, but they have this beautiful gourmand vibe. So here you get a gourmand vibe of almost a milky ice cream, okay, and that's followed with a lot of nuttier elements, and then that light amount of booze to give you that beautiful coffee kind of a vibe. So it has coffee, it has this liquor, it has this nutty elements. So think about almost like a cold coffee blended with a lot of ice cream, and then you decide to add a splash of amaretto or any of those kind of liquors which will give that a little bit of that Irish coffee kind of a vibe. So if you like gourmands, or if you like a little bit of a after dinner liquor kind of a fragrances or liquors itself, then this one is absolutely beautiful. So very loud, especially if you're going in a car or if you're going for date nights and close encounters. This is a beautiful scent to wear, and especially in this season, it really opens up and you can give it a try. Performance is good. You get about 5 hours approximately, and in the budget about I think 2,500, 3,000 rupees sub in that category. This is a phenomenal scent to try, and we do have the Zimaya's tiramisu as well and the caramel one as well. So tiramisu is also again an alternate of the Mancera's Amour Cafe, and it's a beast mode loud scent actually, but this one is a little softer, but nonetheless you do get a very close resemblance to that, and you will actually enjoy it this winter. Alright, the last scent on this particular video is from the house of Rehan, and this is probably the only flanker that's available right now. This is a pretty new one. This is the Rehan Valhalla, and the Valhalla is basically a take on, again, one of the Kilian fragrances, the Angel Share Paradise. Now, the Angel Share Paradise is again a fragrance that's got a lot of the Angel Share DNA, but it's changed from the cinnamon, it goes into the raspberry note, okay? Now, because of the raspberry note, it has a more tart, fruity kind of an opening, and because of the boozier element, it does have this sharp liqueur based element with a lot of raspberries that come into play, and has a very beautiful tart, sharp, different kind of an opening. Now, it smells very gorgeous. Now, I haven't tried the Royal Blend Sequoia, but that's also a similar take on the Paradise. But I believe Rehan is actually launching a lot of new fragrances, and I will do a full dedicated video about some of the new fragrances that have come by, and some are phenomenal, and so is the case with this. This one actually smells really nice. It has this beautiful medicinal, leafy, green, oak mossy vibe as well. The mossy vibe that comes across along with those raspberries and the liqueur, making it a very, very fruity, floral, earthy kind of a fragrance. Beautifully smelling, very, very nice. It almost makes you feel like you have a green vibe as well to some element, but that I'm guessing is because of the tartness coming from the raspberry. Now, along with that, it has a little bit of a floral accord that I was talking to you about coming from rose. It has a little bit of a woody nuances coming from woody elements like oak, and then a little bit of a caramel as well, or a truffle. But the gourmand element is a little less, that you get a little bit more of that in the drier, but in the opening you get a lovely tart, sharp, beautiful raspberry kind of fragrance, and this one is also fantastic to try. All right, so those were the 10 fragrances, those were 10 boozy fragrances that I wanted to talk to you about, which were Middle Eastern. I actually wanted to give you a very nice one. This was my first encounter, which is the VIP from Playboy VIP, and this was a phenomenal boozy fragrance. If you're able to get this for under 1,000 rupees, you should definitely consider this. But the only element is this is a little soft in its lasting. That's the reason I did not actually include it, but you can definitely try it. Now, in case you want to try any of our tobacco fragrances, like this is the Sultan's Orchard, and this is the tobacco wood inspired fragrance, and then this is also the Herod. So all of these fragrances are actually available in 10 and 50 ml, and the 10 ml start at about 400 rupees roughly. So these have got a lot of boozier elements along with tobacco, and they will absolutely smell really, really gorgeous in this winter season. So definitely do try any of the fragrances that you feel, and do let me know which video should we do next in terms of what kind of gourmand or boozy is done, or should we look at other type of winter fragrances, and I will do that. I will see you on another video, and all of these fragrances, or most of these fragrances, are available in decants, so definitely try them, and I'll see you on another video. Until another time, take care. Bye bye.